Hello! This video documents my first experience of coral. First of all, let's take a step back, put this into perspective, and realise how significant this video is. This is the first time humanity has had a clear glimpse of coral, and via a first-hand account, an autobiographical documentation of an existence level. Thus, this is a very special YouTube video documenting the leading edge of humanity. And so, let me borrow from someone who's the absolute master at description to help me introduce this video. And now for conversational fireworks that ascend the brightest heavens of invention, a planet for a stage, a researcher to inform, and beloved leaders to behold the soaring scene. But please pardon, gentle listener, the raised spirits that have dared upon this unworthy crystal display to bring forth such mighty V-memes. Can this mere motion picture impart the cosmic characteristics of coral? Or may we cram within this flickering frame rate the very focus with which I've lived some life? Allow me to your intelligent forces in form. Suppose stored within the images of these frames are now confined the very factors that will help sculpt our future civilization. Thus, fill out my first findings with your research. Think, when I speak of details, that you envision them, imprinting their profound perspectives in receiving minds. For 'tis now your thoughts that will comprehend coral, understanding year-long acquired insights in the length of an egg timer, to which you may admit me, announcer to this document, who, prologue-like, your humble patience, pray, carefully to listen, clearly to grasp, level coral today. Right, introduction over, let's get going. The best way I can summarise my experience of coral is by the question, is it my turn to lead or follow? I have discovered three aspects of coral. One, is it appropriate for me to lead or follow for some time? Two, achieve goals in such a way that it helps others achieve theirs. And three, there are multiple reasons for things. First, let's look at lead when appropriate in more detail. My initial experience of coral was naturally exiting turquoise and entering coral. This initial experience was that as well as living in harmony with everything else, sometimes it is appropriate that I should lead the way. This definitely fits in with coral being predicted to be internally oriented. As I fully developed coral and I became more familiar with peak coral, it became clear that the key overarching aspect of coral is sometimes it is my turn to lead for a while and sometimes it is my turn to follow for a while, as it's someone else's turn to lead. So it's someone's turn to lead for a while, either until they get the job done and achieve some result, or until a certain step is reached, or until it's realised a different approach is required from someone else or any other living entity in the turquoise tribe, whatever that may consist of. So, mostly another person, or another species, the weather, an energy force, or several energy forces, or one type of insect, or several types of insect, or a corporation, or a local governing body, or a national governing body, or a workforce, or a certain section of society, or a country, or a particular group of nations, or an organising body. And then it may be my turn to lead again, to get things done, or to get things started, or to ensure the next step of the plan is achieved. And then it's something else's turn to lead again. And then in the future, it may be my turn again to take the next step. Let's look at how coral's lead or follow when appropriate approach fits in with its related levels in the spiral. With turquoise, which is externally oriented, the focus is about living in harmony with all of the fellow living entities in its environment. With coral, which is internally oriented, it has the focus, is it my turn to lead or follow my fellow living entities? Now, coral is, of course, the third level in the second tier. With red, the third level in the first tier, red is about breaking out of the tribe with its rituals and starting to discover its power, the world, and life beyond the tribe and the rituals. Thus, red is no longer focused on the tribe, whereas integrated coral is still focused on its large tribe of living entities and taking its turn to lead or follow that tribe. There is a pattern predicted to be between the levels of the tiers that's often been written about. The first level, beige, is about survival, and yellow is about survival in the information age. And just as the focus of purple is on the tribe in which one lives, the focus of turquoise is the whole tribe of living systems with which one lives on this planet, including both physical species as well as energies, such as the weather, which is why environmental friendliness kicked off with turquoise, and spiritual energies. And one common prediction is that there would be a similar pattern between red and coral. Of the various predictions I've read about coral, the only one that is correct is that coral is about leading, which in my experience is spot on. In preparing the mind map for this video, I've come to realise one could say red is just about leading oneself, and coral is also about leading others. So yes, there are some similarities between red and coral. However, due to coral being second tier integrated, there is also at least one clear difference, as we have seen. Where subsistence red is just focused on its own power, regardless of the wants of its purple tribe, integrated coral is still concerned about the wants of its turquoise tribe. The way this shows up is coral also goes about achieving the goals or the results it wants in such a way that it also helps to make it easier for others to achieve their goals. For example, imagine we are having dinner with several people, including that wise sage Tony Robbins. There's a joke in there somewhere. And let's say I want the pepper, which is slightly obscured by other condiments. Now I could just reach and grab the pepper and lift it clear of the other condiments, but with coral I don't. What I do is move some of the other condiments out of the way and towards the people who I know want them. After all, Tony Robbins is often talking about wanting the salt. So I'd move the salt towards him, thus making it both easier for me to get to the pepper and easier for others to get to the condiments that they want. I.e., I help make it easier for others to get to the goals that I know they want. This example also illustrates another aspect of what is going on here, as coral is aware that invariably there are multiple reasons for things, i.e., multiple reasons for doing something. I noticed this show up at work. There were times when I would explain to my orange boss the several reasons why something needed to be done a certain way, or the various reasons why it was best to plan the project the way I had, and he would be satisfied after I'd explained just the first reason or two, and he wouldn't be interested in the complete set of essential and interrelated reasons. After I'd been coral for about a year, I heard of a company that made toilet paper that planted 3 trees for every 1 tree they cut down. Looking through the lens of coral, this seemed like a good example of some form of coral thinking, such as peak coral or entering coral. Orange might build a machine to reduce the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere, but how much CO2 would be created powering such a machine? This planting 3 new trees approach would be much more effective, utilising something that already exists that absorbs CO2, and 1 new tree grows faster, absorbing more CO2 out of the atmosphere than 1 older tree. Thus, this isn't just about being carbon neutral, this is about being carbon reducing. I'm not sure whether it's best to call this carbon negative or carbon positive, or environmentally positive. That is all I initially captured about coral, for the reasons I'll explain in the next video in this series. So in summary, coral is about knowing there are multiple reasons for doing things, will take action in such a way to achieve a result so as to help others achieve their results, and is also about leading when appropriate. Cue musical summary.
Sometimes I lead, sometimes I follow. This time I go where she wants me to go.
Thank you very much for watching.